Welcome back to the Feature, where I watch the full movie so you don't have to. I'm your host Dwayne, and today we're heading to the mall. If you think Stranger Things nailed the 80s vibe, wait until you check out the 1986 horror classic Chopping Mall, where shopping can cost you an arm and a leg. The movie opens with a promotional video of a man robbing a jewelry store in the mall and then being subdued by the mall's new security robot, which looks strangely like someone ordered a Terminator from Temu. We're introduced to the mall's newest security feature, 3 new Protector series robots. The presentation is upbeat, very corporate, and filled with lots of foreshadowing of what's to come. Along with the 3 new robot sentries, the mall is also sporting all new giant steel doors that seal the mall after hours so no one gets in or out. After a montage of daily mall life filled with flashbacks of 80s fashion and retro stores, we meet Allison and Suzie, played by Kelly Maroney and Barbara Crampton, working at the pizzeria and planning for a wild Friday night. That night, a bolt of lightning hits the mall during a storm, causing a power surge in the robot system. Lights start flashing in the control room, but the tech pushes a bunch of buttons until it stops. He goes back to his business of gawking at a Playboy centerfold and is too distracted to notice the robot that rolls up on him and kills him. We then jump over to the furniture store where Mike, Greg, and Ferdy all work. Yep, his name is Ferdy. Turns out the party that Allison and Suzie are going to is being thrown by these 3 right there in their store after closing. We then meet Rick and Linda, who are a little older than the others and married. They've been invited to the party by Suzie, and a wild night in the mall is just what they need to keep the spark alive. Mike meets up with his girlfriend Leslie down the way, where she works in her dad's store. He's not very fond of Mike, and we kind of agree with him. The night shift tech shows up to the control room, and this poor dude has no clue about what happened. The robots fight dirty and actually attack him from behind. Not cool, Brewster. The mall is now closed and the party is off and running. The 3 couples are dancing and drinking while Ferdy meets his blind date Allison, and he's immediately smitten. The robots set out on patrol as each one is assigned to its own floor. One even goes right past the furniture store and sees the couples inside before moving on. They chose the furniture store for the party because of the selection of beds and couches. Each couple settles into a suitable spot for sexy time and a couple of gratuitous nude scenes. Everyone but Ferdy and Allison are getting busy. They're on the couch watching an old 50s horror movie. They're both kind of awkward and nervous, but it's obvious these 2 are meant for each other. Out in the mall, a janitor is mopping up a spill. It's Friday night and he just wants to clock out. Unfortunately, one of the robots pulls up on him and misinterprets his mop for a weapon. He's promptly electrocuted and left for dead. Leslie makes Mike run down the way to pick her up some smokes. He reluctantly agrees, and to thank him, Leslie gives him a couple of reasons to hurry back. He goes to the cigarette vending machine, remember those, where he runs into a Protector robot. It asks for his badge and he happily holds it out and says the magic words Klaatu Verata Niktu to make it official. The robot didn't get the reference, so it shot him with a tranquilizer dart. When he doesn't return in a timely manner, Leslie goes looking for him. She finds him sitting in the dark next to the machine. She thinks he's sleeping, but she quickly realizes he's taken a full-on dirt nap when she sees that his neck has been cut wide open. When she screams, the Protector robot comes out after her. She takes off running, with it shooting lasers at her along the way. She takes a few stun shots in the back just before she makes it back to the store. Everyone heard her scream, so they come to the front of the store just in time to see the robot fire a laser straight at her face, causing her head to explode. They all just stand there in horror as her blood runs down the glass doors. They take off when a second Protector robot shows up, and the robots shoot their way through the glass doors to enter the store. The robots shoot up the place, and no furniture or fixture is safe from their laser blast. They all somehow make it to the back room without getting shot. They barricade the doors to keep the robots from getting in, but that also means they're trapped. Before they can formulate a plan, they hear the new security doors slam shut throughout the mall. The only way out is through the air ducts. It worked for Bruce Willis and Die Hard, right? The girls all make it up into the ceiling just as the doors explode open. One robot chases after the guys while the other leaves the store to try and head the girls off. The girls crawl through the super clean air duct, complaining about how hot it is in there. They figure the robots know they're in there and turned on the heat to french fry them. The guys head to the sporting goods store to find some weapons. Okay, I don't recall malls having sporting goods stores that sold M16s or any firearms for that matter. The guys grab all kinds of weapons and head back out to hunt down the enemy robots. Ferdy is feeling pretty confident with his revolver and admits it's because he saw Dirty Harry 24 times. Protector robot number 1 shows up and they open fire like it's the OK Corral. When the robot gets close enough, Ferdy throws a propane tank and Rick shoots it, causing it to blow up. I don't think Hank Hill would approve of using propane or propane accessories in this manner. It looks like their plan worked because the robot is now on its side and looking pretty toasted. Meanwhile, the heat is getting to be too much for Suzie, so she decides to take the first exit out of the vent. This early exit puts them inside the automotive store where they decide to find a way to protect themselves. They find some gas cans and start making really big Molotov cocktails. Turns out Protector number 1 isn't as dead as we thought. It manages to upright itself and get back online as the guys are setting up a trap on top of the elevator. Protector number 2 comes out of hiding and goes after the girls. Their screams are loud enough for the guys to hear them. Allison and Linda take cover to prep their gas cans while Suzie just stands there screaming out in the open. Allison slides the first flaming can at the robot, but the fire doesn't slow it down. The girls take off running, the robots chase after them, and the guys go running through the mall looking for them both. Suzie is shot in the leg and goes down. Instead of getting up or trying to crawl to cover, she just lays there screaming and still holding onto a can of gas. The two smarter girls take cover as the robot rolls up. Even the robot got tired of listening to her scream, so it shoots the gas can, setting poor Suzie on fire. Of course, now that she's the Human Torch, she finally decides to get up. It's a little late for that. Allison and Linda can only sit there and watch her burn as the guys come running up. Greg sees his girlfriend laying on the grill and opens up on the robot with his shotgun. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any effect. Everybody runs back to the elevator with the robot in pursuit. Rick leads it to the elevator as bait while the others watch from the level above. When he jumps clear, the others open fire on the propane tanks rigged on top of the elevator. They all suck at shooting until Allison takes the gun from Ferdy and hits the tank with the first shot. The explosion sends the elevator and the robot inside, crashing all the way down. In a nod to her role in Night of the Comet, Allison tells Ferdy her dad is a Marine. The group then holds up in the pizzeria when Ferdy comes up with the idea to shut down the master computer on the 3rd floor. They're running through the mall again on their way to the 3rd floor when Greg gets careless and takes off ahead of them. Always check your 6, folks. Don't be like Greg or you could end up like Greg. So yeah, he's dead. Their group is a bit smaller now, and then they find out that there's still 2 robots to deal with. They barely make it into a department store, but not without Allison getting wounded in the arm. They rest up in the department store as best they can while they figure out their next move. They just have to stay alive until 6 a.m. when the outside door opens up. The robot finally breaks in, so they hide behind some mannequins to confuse it. When the robot gets close enough, they uncover some mirrors, which causes its lasers to bounce back and short-circuit it. As the robot goes haywire, shooting lasers in every direction, Linda just stands out in the open for some reason. You could see this coming a mile away. Yep, Linda gets shot and killed as her husband watches. Rick then thinks he's Rooster Cogburn and charges the robot on an electric cart. This move only gets his dumb ass electrocuted. At least it caused the robot to explode for good this time. Ferdy and Allison are the only ones left now to continue the mission of finding the control room. They make the decision to split up to find the room faster. Because splitting up always works out in movies, doesn't it? Allison draws the short straw because the protector robot finds her first. She's cornered, so she screams for Ferdy, who comes running. He shows up and puts a bullet right in its laser hole, causing it to malfunction. He then lures the robot away from Allison and out into the mall. Out of bullets, he resorts to chucking a fire extinguisher at the robot only to have it thrown back at him. He's down for the count, leaving Allison as the last one standing. She breaks into a pet store to hide, and the robot follows her inside and acts like a bull in a china shop, just knocking over stuff left and right, including some glass cases holding snakes and spiders. Big shocker that the spiders and snakes go right to Allison and start crawling all over her. The robot doesn't find her and it leaves, allowing Allison the chance to get away from her new creepy friends. Allison is once again out in the mall and being chased by the robot and ends up falling from the upper floor, where she manages to safely land inside a pop-up stand. She realizes that she still has a flare on her, so she breaks into the hardware store and starts spilling paint and chemicals all over the floor. The robot takes the bait and comes crashing in, where it spins out on the liquid mess she made. She steps outside and throws the flare back at the robot, causing the whole store to explode. In the aftermath, Allison is stunned and sore, but still alive. The last robot is on fire and broken apart. She makes her way back down the mall and finds Ferdy, a bit bloody but alive and well. They reunite and hug. The end. Chopping Mall is pure 80s horror comfort food. Killer robots, neon lighting, gratuitous nudity, and maximum cheese with a decent body count. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, drop your favorite kill in the comments, and subscribe for more retro carnage every week. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you on the next Back to the Feature.
Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.